Good morning, world. How are we today? Okay, this morning is still quite a bit dark. I am driving a little bit earlier than normal, so you have to bear with the poor light. Now, what are we talking about this morning? This morning, we are talking about a local legend. A local legend that I have just read an article about on ABC News on my phone. Now, this guy is from the Gippsland region, and I want to say that he's like the new Australian icon. I would say just as Aussie as the Irwin kid, what's his name? Anyway, so Johnny Charles. He's a 24-year-old from the Gippsland region who, at the start of this year, decided I want to get out and about. I want to go explore the country, and at the time, the car that he just happened to own is a 20-year-old Toyota Corolla. So off he goes with his Toyota Corolla, but it gets better. He's funding this trip around Australia with a commercial grade coffee machine in his boot and his beans and grinder and milk. And he's got a surfboard that has printed on it, I'm pretty sure with spray paint, Cafe Corolla. And, $5 a coffee. If you see him around, he can make coffee for you. That's how he's, funding his trip and meeting new friends. Now, the funny part was about this story that I was reading on the ABC News was, so he's doing this road that's called the Gib, right? And apparently, it attracts thousands of people every year who want to drive this road. And along the stretch, it's like 660 kilometers. Along the stretch, there's all sorts of terrain and even a river crossing. And he doesn't have a four-wheel drive. He's got a 20-year-old Corolla. So what does he do for the river crossing? He puts a tarp in his, under his bonnet to cover his engine. And he used a $2 pool noodle and some duct tape as his snorkel to get through this river crossing. Is that not amazing? This guy's a legend. He does have an engineering degree from university, and I just think it's such a good story. This 24-year-old wants to go travel Australia. Coffee's out of his boot to fund the trip. $2 pool noodle and some duct tape as a snorkel to cross a river. He was quoted saying something about that he loves it when stuff breaks. A bit of a challenge. Such a great attitude. It's beyond resilience. It's like just a whole way of being, isn't it? Just like challenges, come at me. And I just thought it was such a good story. I feel like this guy firstly should be on the cheap seats or the celebrity deal or no deal or something, because maybe Dave Hughes can meet up with him for a beer somewhere. I feel like this guy should be elevated to Australian icon level. I believe he has got social media platforms going on where people are following him, thousands of people are following him on. I can't remember if it said Instagram or Facebook or what. But I just wanted to, mention this guy's story. I think he's a legend. I love his attitude. I love that, he's just got this cheap car and these cheap bits, and I love how he's funding his trip. I love the attitude. It's like a whole life motto, and more people should be like that. Like, that's a huge leap of faith. That's a huge, just jumping into the middle of nowhere, not knowing how it's going to go. I mean, the whole trip is that, let alone, I'll just go swim through this river in my little Corolla. You know what I mean? Like, most people in their life are pretty avoidant of doing anything that could possibly cause them any stress or hardship or challenge, And this guy's just like, come at me, whatever, And I don't know if it's like a generational thing, like, because he's obviously the generation below me. I don't know if it's a generational thing, if like lots of people around that age group have that mindset, or if it's just him individually. But just such a great attitude. He's going to go far in life. He's going to do really well in life if he is able to maintain that sort of a life attitude and just that positive mindset. About even challenges coming your way, because it means that no matter what life throws at him, he's not going to get knocked down. That's the whole trouble, isn't it? Most people find themselves just like, it could be a big electricity bill, it can be not getting into the course that you want, it can be car troubles, it can be relationship troubles, it can be whatever the situation. There's so many situations, isn't there, that are dragging people down, knocking people down. And I understand that too. I'm not saying that, you're you're not doing very good at life or something like that if you're getting dragged down. I've been there too. I've been there even in recent times. That we all have our own personal things going on and things that are upsetting for us, but I'm just saying that, like, this guy, this is like a real life example of what to aim for your mentality. This is a living and breathing example of it, because we can talk about it all day long, but this guy is doing it as a real life example, and it really is like the embodiment of the old Australian attitudes that really have like shaped this country for such a long time too. He's from the Gippsland region, and I would say that in Gippsland it is very common for people to have that attitude of like, you don't throw it away if it's broken, you fix it, give it a crack, give it a go, you'll be right, mate, and just those excuse me, just those sort of attitudes, that's like, country Australia, which I include Gippsland in, because it's quite regional. Like, you got to travel sometimes quite far just to, go see your neighbour. I just would say that it's very much like an embodiment of a lot of people who are out here, like living in Gippsland. I think that it's an Australian value, Australian attitude, isn't it? But just like, some of the quotes that he's quoted saying in the article, about like just giving it a crack, and oh, I forget them now, but they were just like real Aussie, you know. I love it. Yeah, so go Johnny Charles. Go Johnny Charles. I think that everyone should jump on his socials, whatever he's got going on, and keep up to date with his travels. You know, support this young guy. If you see him around, go buy coffee from him, you know, to help fund this trip. I think that's such a good idea. So many, like, young people should be doing that, you know. Like, I'm a big believer in kids having like a gap year between the end of high school and going off to do whatever they're going to do in their life, like especially if it's like a uni degree or something like that that's going to take years of more study. I think they should have a break. And I love it when young kids come up with these, you know, innovative, I want to say like ballsy type of ideas that, you know, can get them around, can get them around even the country. Yes, living off of $5 coffees that they're selling. I'm sure there's heaps of other you know, just as innovative ideas. I don't know how he's got a coffee machine like functioning in his boot. I don't know if he's like borrowing power off of somewhere, like from an extension lead or something, or if he's like wired it up somehow to his car. But yeah, that's crazy, because how else have you got the thing working? Yeah, so good on this guy. Good on any you know, young people, any people really. You could be in your 50s, 60s doing this. But just good on anyone who gives it a go, you know, takes the leap of faith, you know, just like thinks outside of the box. You know, the only what's the word? The only thing holding you back or keeping you stuck in your situation is your mindset. It is. It really, really is. You know, you really can change your circumstances. You really can change your life. You know, you really can make lemonade out of lemons. You know, you've just got to really like put pen to paper. You've got to like brainstorm, come up with ideas, you know, and community is a big thing as well. You know, having a community that also helps you brainstorm, that also helps you along the way, supports you and whatever. You know, you can have no family and still have a community, because in your community, the area you live, there's lots of things that you can be a part of, even as a volunteer, you know, and you can create your own family, your own network, you know. So yeah, I suppose this video is kudos to Johnny Charles. Very inspiring. I think he should be elevated to Australian icon. And I think that this is a good reminder for everybody to, you know, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of challenges and hardships that could possibly happen. You know, we all need to take leaps of faith. We all need to stop living in fear and instead live in the excitement of possibility. You know, because that's the opposite of fear, isn't it? The excitement of possibility. Amazing things could be just around the corner for you, but you're never going to know unless you stick your neck out and look around that corner, you know? Oh, it's crazy driving right now, and I can see such a big full moon. I mean, I don't know if it's like completely full, but it's just huge and in my face right now. It's weird driving in the morning and seeing that. Anywho, I'm about to be home, so I'm going to leave it there. Just wanted to chat about that amazing story for another amazing Australian, and you guys go and look him up and support if you can. All right, I will see you all in another video. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.